Yeah, morning all. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not?
Yeah, clear and visible.
Okay, just so Python. So I said like Python, the yesterday demo session, right? Say Python is not a kind of technology which is very recently introduced. It was introduced in the year 1989, right? But all of a sudden, Python has got a great boom, especially from the last 4 to 5 years. The usage of Python has increased a lot, used in various high-end technologies as implementation language, and also a lot of applications are getting developed using Python because of its Python hybrid features. Python has got multi-programming features. What all the features we see in different other programming, all the features we see in Python. So reasons which makes Python, right? Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? Yes. Yeah. First thing is very less code you see in Python as compared with other programming. Very less coding as compared with other programming languages. Simple syntaxes looks like normal English statements. The syntaxes of Python looks like normal English statements. And interactive mode, we can easily interact with Python statement by statement. For every statement, it use response wide varieties of applications. Wide varieties of applications, right? We can develop like web applications, automation applications, animation applications, graphic applications, gaming applications, networking applications, embedded applications, CAD applications, desktop applications. In this way, wide varieties of applications we can develop. What all the features we see in different other programmings, multi-programming features, hybrid features, and wide varieties of applications, multi-programming, and many built-in libraries, many built-in modules. Nearly 89,300 inbuilt modules Python is providing for different domains. Right? Whatever domain or environment you are from, Python has got a Python is providing a module for networking, for testing, for data science, for big data, for databases, for every environment, right? Python is providing a module. So today I'll go with you need to know something about PSF, Python Software Foundation, Python versions, Python installation, Python execution modes. You need to know something about PSF, Python Software Foundation, PSF, PSF, right? Yes. It is a non-profit organization. PSF, it is a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community. Yes. This PSF, right? It was launched in the year 2001. More than 20 years ago, it was launched. The main objective of this Python Software Foundation, PSF, right? To foster the development of Python from version to version to foster the development of Python. In the year 2005, PSF, Python Software Foundation received Computer World Horizon Award. In the year 2005, PSF received Computer World Horizon Award, right? And the president for this PSF, the same personality who has introduced Python, who developed Python, right? Guido van Rossum. Guido van Rossum, the same personality who introduced or who developed Python, the same personality is the president for this Python Software Foundation. Right? And the headquarters, where are the headquarters of this? In Delaware, US. Official website, right? Of Python, official website of Python, python.org. Python.org is the official website of Python, from where we can download Python, from where we can see the documentation of each and every Python release. So before I go with the Python installation, you need to know something about the Python versions. Python, the first one version, Python 1.x version, right, was released in the year 1989. Next, Python 2.x version. 2.x means 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. The first two version in the year 2000. The version what we are using currently, 3 version, right? 3.x, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. The first 3 version was released in the year 2008. Latest version of Python. Latest version of Python. Latest version of Python, right? Python, right? 3.12. Stable version of Python. Stable version, nothing but mostly used version. Yes. This is something about the versions, right? The version what we are going to install is 3.12. Python 3.12, right? Yes. Python installation. Next, like Python installation. It hardly takes 2 minutes to install Python. Downloading and installation of Python, right? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Before we go with the installation, right? Yes. Go to this settings, apps, apps and features. Scroll down to the bottom of this. I'll remove this. I'll just remove and I'll just show you from the scratch. I'll uninstall Python from my system and I'll show you how to download and how to install Python, right? So Python,
Sir,
yes,
do you want us to install parallelly with you?
yes, we can do it.
Thank you.
So just I'm uninstalling Python. So you can do parallel along with me. Yes. Okay. So before that, Python provides Python provides different softwares for different environments. It provides different softwares for different environments. For Windows, for Mac OS, for Linux. For Linux, no need of any installation. By default, whenever you install Linux, right, by default, along with Linux, Python also gets installed. Any Linux flavor, Red Hot Linux, CentOS, or Ubuntu, whatever Linux flavor you are using, by default, you get Python along with Linux. Just open terminal and type Python there. Python gets open. But for Windows and for Mac OS, for Windows and Mac OS, we need to download and we need to install it. And for Windows, Python provides two softwares for Windows. Windows 32 for Windows 32-bit, for Windows 64-bit. For 32-bit separate software, for 64-bit it provides separate. So uninstallation was successful. Close it. So how will you check whether your Windows is 32-bit or 64-bit? If your Windows is 32-bit, download 32-bit Python software. If your Windows is 64-bit, download 64-bit Python software. So before that, how will you check? Means go to this file explorer, right click on this file explorer, right up. You can see this PC, right? This PC. Right click on this PC or computer and say properties. Say properties. Can you see clearly system type? System type 64-bit operating system. 64-bit operating system. If you are using like Windows 7 or Windows 8, some older versions of Windows, so you're using 32-bit, right? You are supposed to download 32-bit software, right? Now, what is the official website of Python? What is the official website of Python? I said python.org. So just open Google and just say python.org. Python.org is the official website from where you can download Python, from where you can install Python, right? So you can see the documentation for each and every Python release. Downloads. Go to the downloads folder. All releases. Click this all releases. Okay, downloads, all releases. After that, scroll to the bottom of just scroll down. Active Python releases it says. Don't go for active Python release. Looking for a specific release. Looking for a specific release, right? Yes. You can see that you can see from the last 20 years what all the Python versions, everything you can see here. You can see from last 20 years, right? Yes, all this from June 22, 2001. So Python 2.0. Now the version what we are trying to use 3.12.2. 3.12.2. It was introduced on February 6, 2024, almost like 1.5 months back ago. Right. So 3.12.2, 3.12.2, you will be you're able to see here. Click this Python 3.12.2. Click on this. This 3.12 gets open. If you scroll down to the bottom of the page, scroll down to the bottom of the page, you can see some files. Files you can see. Here Windows installer 64-bit, Windows installer 32-bit. If your Windows is 32, 32-bit is select. If it is 64, 64 you can select. And for Mac OS 64-bit universal installer. And for Linux, already it is installed, right? So go for Windows installer 64-bit. So your download started. Yes, check it here. It is just 25 MB of size. Just 25 MB of size. Yes. Downloaded, right? Once it is downloaded, just click on the exe file or go to the downloads folder and click the exe file. Yes, you will get this window. Window gets open in this way. A window gets open in this way, right? Don't immediately go for installation. At the bottom, select add Python to path. Select I add Python to path. Means you are adding the Python path to the path variable of OS. Now go for customize installation. Go for customize installation. In that, nothing to select, everything are pre-selected options, features, Python, all those are. Next is a advanced options. Nothing to select here also, everything, whatever that is selected, everything is selected. But here installation location, right? Where it is going to get installed in C, users, Dell, app data, local, programs, Python 3.10. Somewhere it is getting installed in some subfolders, right? In some subfolders, it is getting installed. Tomorrow, if you want to locate it, it will be too difficult, right? And that too, if you want to install any module, Python module, we need to enter the same big path. So just rest your mouse here before this Python, right? And just remove all this. / Python 3.12. Python 3.12. C/Python within the C drive, I'm trying to install Python 3.12. 3.12 means nothing but 3.12, right? Yes. Okay. Now just say install. Hardly it takes 1 minute for installing this. Just it takes 30 seconds. Yeah, we are almost done with the installation, right? Yes, it's almost done with the installation. Once it is done, let us check whether it is successfully installed or not, right? Yes. Python 3.12. Go to the downloads folder and in that select versions. In that Python 3.12, go to that looking for a specific release. That 3.12.2 is the version we have selected. Download and install, right? Setup was successful, close it. So this is Python got installed. Check whether it is successfully installed or not. At the bottom search panel, type CMD and go to the command prompt. CMD and say enter, go to the command prompt. Type Python here. Whenever you type Python here, Python version gets opened. Python version has to be open and Python interpreter should be displayed. Can you check here? Python version that what we have installed 3.12.2 and this 3 arrow symbol where you can see the Python interpreter. Yes, you can see that Python version is displayed. So Python is installed successfully. And this 3 arrow symbol, right? Python interpreter. Yes, where you can enter any valid Python statements. Just say 4 + 5. It gives the output. X as 10, Y as 3. Say what is the X? 10. What is Y? 3. X into 2 is 10 into X to the power of 2, 10 square. X minus Y. X by Y. No need to define the data types also. Directly we can define the values here in Python, right? Yes. Dynamic type. Yes. X equal to Ajay. Y equal to Kumar. X plus Y. It prints Ajay Kumar. X is one string, Y is another. X equal to hello. X into 3 prints hello for 3 times. X into 5 prints hello for 5 times. In this way, any valid Python statements you can type and you can check, right? Yeah, the statements look like normal English statements. Quit to come out of this. Just say quit. Okay, Python is working. Yes, it's installed properly. So if anyone working, okay, in Linux environment, if anyone using Linux, using Python within the Linux environment, right? If you are using the older version of Linux, the older version of Python will be available. If you want to install the latest version of Python in your Linux machine, so everything you need to download, you need to install from the root user, sudo apt-get install Python 3.12. Install Python 3.12. This command is going to install, yes, Python, right? The latest version of Python will be installed in the Linux machine, right? So that is installation of Python. You can also, okay, you can also install Python in your smartphones, right? Even go to the Play Store, type Python IDE, right? You'll get many IDEs. Select any one IDE, install it, and work and execute and check it, right? Yes. Okay. Python execution modes. Python execution modes. Two modes of execution. Two modes of execution. Interactive mode and batch mode. Interactive mode, batch mode. Interactive mode and batch mode. Interactive mode, here we directly type Python statements. We directly type Python statements on the interpreter, right? And the user can easily interact. Directly typing Python statements on the interpreter and the user can easily interact with Python statement by statement. Directly typing Python statement on the interpreter and the user can easily interact with Python statement by statement. For every statement, it gives response. So this kind of this interactive mode we won't see in other programming language. Interactive mode, this we won't see in other programming language like Java. So the advantage here of interactive mode, if you doesn't know about any Python functionality, you can type it in here and you can check what output it is going to provide. Based on that, you can analyze it. To test the functionalities of Python, the advantage to test the functionalities. And to learn Python. To test the functionalities of Python and to learn Python. As a beginner and as a learner, this interactive mode works better. And this batch mode means we'll create a .py file. Here we write batch of statements. Here we write our batch of statements or set of statements within the editors or IDEs. Here we write set of statements within the editors or IDs and save it by using .py extension. Here we write set of statements within the editors or IDs and save it by using .py extension. Save it and later submit it to Python. I'll show you with examples, right? Yes. We write set of statements within the editors or IDs. IDE means integrated development environment. In real time, we use IDEs and save it by using .py and later submitting to Python. Yes. What are the various editors? What are the various editors and what are the various IDs where we can write the Python code? Various editors, right? Within the notepad, you can write. Within the edit plus, within the VI, within the nano, right? Within the notepad, within the edit plus, within this VI and nano editors. Within the Windows environment, go for this first two. Within the Windows environment, VA and nano within the Linux environment. Within the notepad, and write the Python code and create a .py file. Here also using VA and nano, create a .py file. Various IDEs, integrated development environments. Various IDEs like PyCharm. So in real time, we use different IDEs, integrated development environments, right? Yes, PyCharm is the one. We have got many IDEs Python supports. PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter Notebook, VS Code. Unlike other training sites, not on a single ID, I'll be showing you on different IDs. PyCharm, Jupyter, Spider, Eclipse, VS Code, all this I'll be showing you, right? How to download step by step, how to install, how to run the code and executing the code, right? Yes, among all this, PyCharm is the mostly used one. PyCharm is the mostly used. PyCharm is the mostly used one. Yes. You may ask, you may get a query, why these many IDs for Python? Why these many IDs? Why not one or two IDs? Python is used for different environments, for data science, for big data, for networking, testing, gaming. Different environments use different IDs. For example, data science uses Jupyter Notebook, uses Spider ID, and big data, it uses Spider ID and Jupyter Notebook. And typical web applications use PyCharm, VS Code, right? Okay. So the various editors and various IDs. So I'll be showing you on different IDs, I said, and Anaconda distributions. Anaconda distributions where we can see all the IDs like Jupyter, VS Code, PyCharm, Spider, all this, right? Yes. Developing the first Python application. Developing the first Python. Developing the first Python application within a editor. Within editor means example, notepad. Open Notepad and type the following. Open Notepad and type the following Python statements. Okay, so I'm taking, so as of now, we didn't discuss anything about Python fundamentals, right? So just I'll take two numbers, two values, x as 10, y as 20, and I want to perform some kind of arithmetic operations, right? Yes. Print x plus y, print x minus y, x plus y, x minus y, x into y, x by y. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I want to perform some kind of arithmetic operations, right? Yes. I'll copy this to a separate notepad file. I'll copy this to a separate notepad file. Yes. Pasted here. File, save. Yeah. I'm creating a separate folder, separate for Python 8 a.m. batch. In that sample1 dot sample1.py, right? Yes. Yesterday I created a separate folder, Python 8 a.m. batch. Within that, I'm saving all my Python files, sample1.py. So here I've saved it as save as sample1.py. And now submit this file. And now submit this file to Python as. So you have created a sample1.py file. You have created sample1.py file. Now submitting this file to Python. So at the bottom in the search panel, type CMD. At the bottom search panel, type CMD. Type Python here. Don't say enter, it will go to interactive mode. And give the entire path of the file. Entire path where the file is available. So in C drive, Python 8 a.m. batch. It is Python 8 a.m. batch. Sample1.py. Check it. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. Okay. So just use Python and specify the entire path where that Python is available, right? 10 plus 20, yes, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. Okay, just go to the command prompt and give the entire path Python you type and give the file in which folder and in which drive. The drive name, the directory name, and this file name you provide it. It performs these operations. But here, what is your observation? Just I'll copy this. What is your observation here? But here we are writing the code. Here we are writing the code at one place. Here we are writing the code at one place and executing at the other place. We are writing the code at one place and executing at the other place. But to write and execute, at the same place, we are writing the code at one place and executing at the other place. You're writing the code within the notepad. And you are executing at the other place where you are executing within the command prompt. But to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE. We have IDLE, right? Integrated Development Learning Environment, right? But for writing and executing at the same place, we have IDLE, which comes along with Python installation. Which comes along with Python installation, using which we can write and execute. We can write and execute at the same place. Yes, at the same place. Observe this. We are writing the code at one place within the notepad and we are executing within the command prompt. But for writing and executing at the same place, we have got IDLE. Where this IDLE, which comes along with Python installation, using which we can write and execute at the same place. So how to open this IDLE and how to write the code within this IDLE? Directly in the search at the bottom, right? Type IDLE, IDLE. This you got this Python 3.12. Say enter. This is the Python shell, right? Python 3.12. This is the interactive mode. This is one way. Otherwise, go to the start programs, go to all apps, check the where your Python is installed. P Python 3.12. What is the first version you see? IDLE. Click it. Python shell gets open in this way. If you want to work with interactive mode, any valid statements 3 plus 6. Any valid Python statements you can type and you can interact with it. But I want to work with batch mode. Right? File, new file. Here itself you can write the code. Here itself you can run, right? Run the code. So I've taken the same code, x as 10, y as 20, x plus y, x minus y, x into y, x by y. So here I'll save it. Python 8 a.m. Right. Within that I'm saving it as sample2 dot any name dot py extension, right? So here itself I'm writing the code. Here itself I can run. Here run option is there. Run module. That's it. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. Here itself we can write. Here itself we can run module. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. Understood, right? So where we can writing and executing at the same place. Ideally, you can type in the search. Ideally, it gets open. Yes. Whenever you say file, new file, then only you see this run option. File, new file, if you say, then only you can see this run option. Otherwise, you won't see that run. Okay. So, yes. So writing and executing the same place, we have got IDLE, which comes along with Python installation. Fine, just I'll take 5-10 minutes more. Just I'll give introduction to this Python data types and variables. Python data types and variables, right? Yes. For example, every organization use case has got data and operations. Every organization use case has got data and operations. Data represented using data types and variables. Any organization use case has got data and operations. Data using data types and variables. Operations using functions. Operations using functions. For any organization, for example, take example of a bank. Bank consists of data and operations. Means a customer, for example, bank consists of customers and employees. Customers has got data. Customers has got operations, right? Customer data means customer name, customer account number, balance, branch. Operations like deposit operation, withdrawal operation, transfer operations, right? So they are represented using data types and variables. Operations represented using functions. For example, if you are comparing C or C++ or Java, if you are comparing C++ or Java with Python, Python supports dynamic data types. Python supports dynamic data types. In other programming language like C, C++, Java, if you want to define a variable x as 10, compulsory we need to say int. Y equal to 4.5, we need to say float. Z equal to hello. If you want to define some variables x, y, z, this data type defining is compulsory. But in Python, directly you say x as 10. You can say y as 4.5. You can say z as hello. Okay. What kind of variable x is means based on this data type defining, you are saying it as integer type. But what kind of variable x is? So here, what kind of variable y is means based on the data type defining, you are saying it as float. What kind of variable z is means based on the data type defining, you are saying it as string. In Python, what kind of variable x is based upon the value assigned? What value you are assigning? If you are assigning a integer value, integer variable is created. If you are assigning a float value, float variable is created. If you are assigning a string value, string variable is created. Based upon what value you are assigning, the variables are created dynamically, right? Type of x, int type. Type of y, float. Why it is float? Because you have assigned a float value. Based on the value assigned, the variables are created dynamically. There is a function given in Python, type function. Type of x means integer because you assigned the integer value. Type of z will be what type? Type of z, right? String type. Yes. So based upon what value you are assigning, the variables are created dynamically. That's why we call as dynamic data types. So to make you understand much better on this, I'll be discussing 4 cases here. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Case 1, try to understand here what happens internally when we define some variables in Python. Whenever you say x equal to 10, internally one object will be created with value 10. It is going to occupy some physical memory address location. That address is taken by x. What x is storing? Don't say x is storing 10. X stores this address. Whenever you say print x, it goes to this address and prints the content whatever present at that address. Prints the content at that address. Whenever you say print x, it goes to this address and prints the content. If you want to print the address itself, right, there is a function, id function, prints the address of x. What's the address of x? 103070. Yes. Print type of x. Print the type of x. Prints the data type of x. Prints the data type of x. Data type of x is what type? Integer. Printing the content, printing the address, and printing the type, data type of x. Yes, case 1. Whenever you're defining some variable, is going to have some address. The address is given to x. Printing the content, printing the address, and printing the type. Now, everyone. So from here onwards, I want the sessions to be interactive, right? Yes, once we are entering into the technicals of Python, I want you people to interact. Try to give your responses, whether your answers are correct or wrong. You can unmute yourself from here and you give a response through voice or through chat panel. You can type your response in the chat or you can also unmute and give your response through voice. Case 2. Whenever I'm saying x as 10 and y as 20, try to respond. How many objects are created internally? Everyone. X as 10, y is 20. How many objects?
Two objects.
2 objects. For x as 10, y as 20. For 20, one more object. It has got its address. That address given to x. It will have its address. That address is given to y. Now try to respond. Print x. What is the x value it prints? Goes to this address and prints that content at that. If I want to print the address, ID of x. What is that ID of x?
103070.
Yes. And type, data type of x. I want to print the type of x. What data type it is?
Integer.
What value you have assigned? Integer value, right? So integer type. What type? Integer type. Print y. What is the y value? Goes to this address and prints whatever present. 20. Address of y, everyone. 104090. Type of y. Integer type, right? So two different variables x and y with two different values 10 and 20 with two different objects with the two different addresses are created, right? Two different variables with two different values with two different objects, two different addresses. Now check with this case 3. X value is 10, y is 10. How many objects are created here? Yes, everyone. How many objects are created?
2.
Objects.
Observe carefully here, only one object is created. For x equal to 10, one object created with some address. But y equal to 10, before creating object for y, it checks any object with value 10 if it is already available in the memory. The same address will be given. Don't think for y equal to 10, one more object with value 10 will be created in the memory. No. So if x is 10, y is 10, if z also 10, don't think three objects with value 10 will be created in the memory. No, only one object. Its address is given to x, y, and z. X, Y, and Z, they are sharing the same content. Hence, they are sharing the same address. If X value is 10, Y is 20, Z is 30, how many objects are created?
3.
3 objects. If the values are different, multiple objects. If values are same, only one object, one address. So I can say like print X. Print Y and print Z. Address of X, address of Y, address of Z. So here the contents are same, the addresses are same. All these three variables, they are going to share the same content. They are going to share the same address, right? Just 1 minute. Case 4. X is 10 and X is 20. X and X only here, not XY. For 10, one object with some address. For 20, one more object with some address. The address is given to X. Now try to say, if I say print X, what is the X value it prints? 10 or 20 or both?
20.
Both.
So always it prints the latest value.
Okay.
It will print the latest value. Address of X, latest one. Type will be what? Integer type. Okay. So two different variables, sorry, same variables with different values, different objects. So these 4 cases. The case 1, what happens? How to print the content, how to print the address, how to print this type. Case 2, two different variables, two different values, two different objects, two different addresses. Case 3, values are same, 10, 10, 10, only one object. Okay. Case 4, it will take the latest value. So yes, so this is the course structure, right? Python basics, Python. Now, tomorrow also you can attend the session same time using the same link to see more on this Python, right? Everyone you can see. Tomorrow you can attend, but from day after tomorrow, the link is going to change. Tomorrow you can attend the session, right? We'll see more discussions on this, but from day after tomorrow, means day after tomorrow, there is a session Saturday, right? This week. Actually, sessions will be from Monday to Friday, but this week as a continuation to this, right? So tomorrow you can attend, but from day after tomorrow, change in the link. So Python operations, constants, variables, data types, type conversions, escape sequences, operators in Python with different types of IDEs, PyCharm, Jupyter, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Anaconda distributions, flow control statements, looping statements, strings, collections, Python lists, tuples, sets, dictionary functions in Python, modules in Python, right? Yes. Packages, errors and exceptions, file handling, object-oriented programming concepts, regular expressions, different types of modules I'll be discussing, some related to regular expressions, some related to database, some related to this Python datetime, some related to OS model, some related to advanced concepts, graphical programming, GUI programming, Excel workbook, data analytics, introduction to data science, Python pandas, Python NumPy, Python matplotlib. So this 30 topics for Python core and advanced. In brief, it will be discussed. People who go for Python full stack means the Django framework will be discussed in brief. Introduction, web frameworks, the Django installation, project architecture, applications creations, views, templates, admin. Yes. So you will be given knowledge on UI technologies, web development, on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, this MySQL, right? So only Python, right? These 30 topics, we'll spend nearly 70 hours for this. Yes, 70 hours will be spending, 2 months duration. 5,000 is the course fee for it. And if you want to learn this Python framework, Django, right? Yes, where first we discuss HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, followed by Django. Yes. REST API and project. This will take 2 more months for that Django web development project, right? So totally, if you want to go for full stack, it takes 4 months. Or if you doesn't have time to spend for 4 months, you can also go parallelly. Monday to Friday, Python classes you can attend. Saturday, Sunday, there'll be weekend batches, right? 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday, right? For this, you can go parallelly. Which can complete in 2.5 months to 3 months, right? Yes. And the course, if you are going separately, right? Python, the 5,000 is the course fee. And for Django, for all the remaining, it will be 7,000. It will be like 12K. But if you are totally selecting this entire package, the single payment, right? It will be 10,000 is the course fee. And you'll be getting the video of each and every session of all this. Notes, clear notes, soft copy of the notes, and assignments and tasks, and a WhatsApp group will be created. I said, right? Day after tomorrow, a WhatsApp group will be created, and from day after tomorrow, you will be getting the videos to your Google Drive, and you'll be getting the notes to your mail address. If you see the chart panel, right? In the chart, you can see the yesterday video, right? You can see the link, demo video. You can see the message given by the online team, demo video, right? You can see that demo video link, that course content to link is given, right? And the payment process and the details, everything is provided, right? Any other things, any other queries from your side? Yes. From the tomorrow, like we'll be continuing from where we have stopped. Will be continuation of this tomorrow. We'll continue with this data types and variables. And I want the sessions to be more interactive, right? So up to now, we have seen demo session. I was speaking most of the time, but whether your answers are correct or wrong, keep responding. The sessions like live sessions, interactive sessions, I said, right? And for Django, you'll be doing that application parallelly along with me. You'll be typing the application along with me parallelly. Nearly 15 applications I'll make you develop, right? Along with me parallelly, right? If you get any error, you will be sharing the screen. I'll be checking with that error, right? You need to know the errors also, right? How to handle that errors, right? Any other queries? And the timing of this batch, let me make it clear once again. For the first 1 week to 10 days, it will be at 8 o'clock in the morning. It starts at 8 o'clock. But after 1 week or 10 days, it starts at 7 a.m. in the morning. Same morning only it will be, but 1 hour early. 7 o'clock in the 7 to 8. The timing of this batch will be 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning. Fine. Any other queries anywhere?
Yeah, sir, what about public holidays? We'll have holidays.
Yeah, public holidays, if yes.
Okay, thank you.
Fine. Okay. So if I'm done with the queries, there are no other query, then I will sign off for now. Meet you tomorrow, same time at 8 o'clock using the same link, right? Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow. Bye.